Want to learn how to write posts that your audience likes, comments on, and engages with, even if your audience is kind of cold right now or hasn't really responded in the past? Don't worry. Give me 5 minutes and I'm going to teach you a persuasion tactic that will make your content absolutely irresistible to your audience. Hope you're excited. I'm Heather, the copywriter, and I teach online experts how to connect with and persuade their audience using buyer psychology and copywriting techniques. Every single training I share, whether it's video or on podcast, or on a Facebook post, wherever it is, I will always give you tips that you can implement right away. I love, there's seriously nothing more that I love than tips or techniques or something that you can take and then immediately use right after. So 5 minutes, guys, 5 minutes, and I'm going to teach you this super easy persuasion tactic that will make your content absolutely irresistible to your audience. All right, hope you're excited. I'm excited. Let's go ahead and start with the first point, which I'm going to let you know right now, it's going to sound so simple. It's going to be like, really? That's it? That's all you're going to teach? But it is so important, and I see so few people do this. It's just, I don't know, it's very interesting. So learn how to do this well. Your audience will absolutely love you when you do. So the first thing that you need to do is learn how to listen to your audience. I know, it seems so simple, but I see a lot of people skip over this part, or they just talk at their audience saying, well, I already know what my audience needs. Well, no, you have great content. I'm sure it's great, but if you're not getting comments, if you're not getting engagement, that means you're talking at your audience and not to your audience. So it's really, really, really important to learn how to listen to them. And I'll give you an example. Let's look at, friendships or partnerships or even, any important relationship that you've had in your life. I want you to think about the difference between a really close friend or a partner who's really good at listening. That person who'd sit down and have coffee with you and they'd put their phone down and they'd look into your eyes and engage and ask questions, and you just felt so heard. Maybe this was a best friend you had. Maybe it was just this great partner who's just such a good listener. I'm going to close my window. Such a good listener, right? They got you. I just felt so connected. Now, think about someone, a friend or a parent or a spouse or anyone who you had a relationship that was not a good listener, and they'd kind of talk over you, or they'd always tell a story that was better than yours, or they'd always be kind of dismissive of your problems of, and then they tell you why you don't actually have a problem. That's what it can be like when you're not learning and listening to your audience, right? You're kind of talking a little bit over them. You're not really keeping up with what they have to say. So really, really, really important to learn to listen to our people. So how can we do this? Don't worry, I'm going to tell you how right now. One of the best ways that you can really lean in and listen to your audience is by hosting Q&A sessions. They're just such a simple, powerful way to really get feedback right away and to really help. After a Q&A session, people are like, yeah, that was awesome. I got my question answered. I feel great. And they feel great about you, right? You're giving them something and they're getting their questions answered. They feel great. So Q&A sessions are amazing. And I know it can get frustrating because you feel like you're answering the same question over and over and over again, right? I know, I get it. They're still really powerful. And you don't have to host long ones. It could be 20 minutes, ask me anything. It doesn't have to be live on video. You can do a post, or it's like, ask me a question or respond below with my answer. They're just so powerful and so great. But here's how we're going to take it a step further. If you see common themes coming up, common questions that get asked over and over, you can create videos and content around them. Clearly, it's a problem that a lot of people get stuck on. So create blog posts, create video content, create emails about them and say, hey, guess what? I hear you. I hear that you're stuck here. Here's how we're going to get you out. So when you have new people coming into your audience, they're probably going to have a similar question, and you're going to be like, hey, got you covered. Like, go check out this blog post. Here's the course that I created all about how to solve this problem. They're going to feel so excited because they're like, wow, this person gets me. They know what's up. But here's another thing you can do is also keep a list of all of the questions you get asked. Keep a list of like when you get DMs and you have questions in your email inbox, and when people are asking you these questions a lot, just keep a list of all the questions that you get asked. Like copy and paste them as much as you can. And what's really great, which is also going to bring me into point number 3, what you can do with those questions is use your audience's own words to respond to them. So when someone asks you a question, copy and paste. You can say, hey, Jessica saw your question about, and then you can paste the question in and then answer the question. And what this does is, again, people feel very, very heard because you're using their own words. You're repeating back to them. And that's a really important in communication, is repeating back what they say for understanding and clarification. And so when you're using the client's own questions and their own words, you're doing a couple of things. One, you're saying that I'm listening and I'm caring, which you kind of talked about. But 2, you're also using their language. And when we're speaking to clients, when we're talking to anyone who we want to persuade, we have to use their language and kind of match where they're at. I remember actually a really good example of this. One time I had a client who was amazing, and she was trying to write a post about a question that she got a lot. And instead of just, reframing the question, she was trying to make it this big, she wanted to sound more businessy and a little bit more professional. And she was like, well, how does this sound? And I looked at her and I said, I won't use her real name. We'll call her Misty. I said, Misty, when some client asks you a question, do you respond back with this very businessy, very formal, very I don't know how to explain it. It was just it didn't sound like she was talking to someone else. It sounded like she was talking at someone else. And I said, what you need to remember is every time you're creating a name for a product, every time you're answering a question, anytime you're doing anything like that, it needs to sound like your people. If they're not going to use these very formal words, don't use them in your marketing, because you sound like you're disconnected from them. I said, go back, look at the questions people have asked you, and reframe this blog post that you're writing and make it sound like you're talking to your customers. I told her, I'm like, imagine you're at a coffee shop and your client asks you a question right there. You're not going to come back with this formal response. No, you're going to respond and talk like a friend would to their friend, And so I think people get this really formal voice when they're talking to their clients, and what they forget is, no, it's more important to sound like your clients. And the best way to do that is to use their own words, use their own questions, and use the phrases that they're using. And what's even better is that you can then take these questions and this language that they're using, and you can add it into your emails and into your sales pages, and you're going to really sound like them. And that's going to really excite them. The right people are going to be really excited about that. And that's who you want to attract. You want to attract the right people for your business. So use those questions that people ask you, put them in your marketing, put them in your Facebook posts, and start to really sound like them. And when you answer people's questions and when you sound like them, oh man, people are so excited. They pay attention more to your content. They're more likely to comment. They're more likely to share. They just get really excited about what you've put out there. So that's how you be more persuasive, is by not mimicking, but essentially recreating how they talk and responding to their questions. I hope that helped you today. I hope that you go use this and you look at the questions people have asked you and you start to put it in your own marketing and your social media posts. And yeah, do that now. Host Q&A sessions. You get that audience excited about what you have to say. If you have any other questions, always feel free to reach out to me through DMs or comments or any way at all. I will see you in the next video. Yeah, you have an awesome day. Bye.